So hello, I'm Marina. I'm a health coach and I focus on raw foods here in San Diego. And I just want to explain a little bit about what raw food is, because I know that not everyone knows. So raw food is actually, it's plant-based. There's no animal products in it. It's uncooked, so completely raw. That comes from uncooked. It's under 118 degrees, so we can warm up the food but not cook it. And it includes fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, sprouts, and seaweeds. So it can sound very limiting to some people, but it's actually pretty incredible and has lots of variety, which I'm going to show you today. And the reason that we eat raw food, you know, if you think of the doctor telling you eat your fruits and vegetables, that's basically it. You're getting all the nutrients that your body needs, and you're getting food in its most natural form. So it's not processed, it's not altered in any way, it's not heated. And so your body recognizes it and it knows exactly what to do with it. So you digest best, you get all your nutrient intake that you need, and it just contributes to incredible overall health. It's also been used by a lot of people to overcome very serious health challenges. There's a lot of stories out there on that. So raw food is pretty incredible, and you'll see that you can make so many different dishes with just these things that we have from nature. And just to kind of combat the idea of that it can be limiting, actually if you have a different kind of fruit every single day of your life, you would still not taste all the fruit that is available out there. So because, you know, we get our stuff from the grocery store, we think, oh, there's not a lot of fruits and vegetables out there. That's not true, and there's such a variety. So today what we're going to do is we're going to use our star of our recipes, which is hemp seeds. And you might have heard that hemp seeds have a lot of protein. They're actually 33% protein. So that's a great thing on a plant-based diet, on a whole foods plant-based diet, which doesn't include animal products. And so it's important to get all our protein that we need and build strong bones. So that is great for that. And it also has an amazing mineral profile. So it has things like phosphorus and iron and zinc in pretty large amounts. So the cool thing is today we're actually not going to make anything cooked, like I said. And why is that important? Because hemp seeds, they are a protein and also a fat. And so when we cook fat, we can actually oxidize it. And you've probably heard of antioxidants and how important they are, and that is to fight oxidation. And we don't want to do that. That creates a really bad chemical response in our body and depletes us of minerals. So we want to get those minerals. We don't want to deplete our body of them. So it's very cool to make recipes with raw hemp seeds. So what we're going to do, we're going to make two recipes today. The first one is going to be a pudding, which you can also make as a smoothie. All you do is just change the water content. So you just add a little bit more water if you want to make it as a smoothie, and less water as a pudding. It's going to be a chocolate cherry raw pudding. And it's going to be awesome. And we're going to sweeten it with dates. And we're going to use the hemp for creaminess. And then the second recipe we're going to make is a tabbouleh. Now, I'm Middle Eastern originally, so we eat lots of tabbouleh. And tabbouleh is actually already a plant-based recipe, but because we're not going to cook anything, we're not going to use couscous as the base, which is what is normally used. Now in raw food, there's a lot of different versions of tabbouleh, but we have hemp seeds here, which are going to be basically replacing our couscous, and they're going to give us so much more health benefits than couscous, which is great. So we're going to start out with the pudding, because in raw food and in general, it's a good idea to eat your dessert first. I know that's confusing, but dessert is sweet and it digests much quicker than your full meal, than your, you know, whatever you have next, a salad or whatever it is, even cooked food. So it's a good idea to have your fruit before your meal. So that's what we're going to do today. So this recipe, we're going to use cherries. Actually, I'm going to put in the water first. And I'm using a Vitamix blender right here. So all we do is just put all the ingredients into it. It's a very powerful blender, and it just devours whatever we put into it. And I'm putting some medjool dates, some pitted dates, and don't forget to pit them, otherwise you're really gonna suffer. I'm a little short, so I have to, but I want you to see the blender. And then, so that's gonna be our sweetener. And then we're gonna put a cup of hemp seeds as our creaminess. So instead of using, you know, things like butter or cream, we're gonna cream it up with the hemp seeds, which is great. It's good for you. And just a word about dairy, which I'm not a huge fan of. I think that it's not healthy for humans to consume dairy because it's very inflammatory in the body. It actually depletes you of calcium. So fun fact. So here we go with the hemp seeds. And then we've got some vanilla powder, or I've got a organic extract here. Very good ingredients. So just put in a little bit. You can always taste test and see if you want to improve anything later. It smells really good. And then we've got the cherries. We're going to use a cup of cherries. So these are frozen cherries. You can also use fresh. And the cool thing too about raw food is that you really don't need to measure things too much. Sometimes I like to measure just so people who aren't used to it know how much they need to put in, but you really don't have to. You can be as creative as you want. So the cherries, and then the last thing is the cacao powder, which also has tons of really cool health benefits. Just gonna sprinkle a little bit in there. So we want it dark. Now this is raw cacao, so it's much stronger, so you don't want to put too much, or it's going to be bitter. All right, and then what we have to do is blend. Done. So what we want is a vortex forming, so I'm going to show you. And you want it really creamy. And I'm going to try some. Just to see, this is how I like to try food. Really, really good. That's really good. Yeah. Okay. It's really sweet and chocolatey and awesome. So here's our first amazing recipe. And now we're going to make the second recipe. So for the second one, we actually don't need the Vitamix anymore. And I've actually pre-made a lot of this stuff. So a lot of times I watch videos of people making food and it looks really easy and quick because they have everything ready. And this is how this one's gonna look to you, but I promise you it's kind of a lot of work because you have to chop quite a lot, but it's totally worth it. It took me about an hour to chop everything because tabbouleh has to be chopped really, really thinly. It's very important to do that. That's how it's made traditionally, and the flavor is impacted by that. So it's really beautiful. It's kind of mixed now a little bit, but what we have is bell pepper, cucumber, onion, and tomato. And then I also have the herbs. So there's quite a lot, and it's really cool. You get all your greens in there. There's parsley and cilantro and green onion, a little bit of green onion, and you just dump it in. So I make it look easy, right? But it's not because it's quite a lot of chopping. But you can also use the food processor, but you know, any Middle Eastern person will tell you don't, because it's not the same and you have to chop. So either way, if you're lazy, I get it. So you just mix it in and you have to mix it well. So it's green, so tabbouleh is always a very green recipe, which is cool because you get all these greens in. And I have to note that if I was gonna have this as a meal, I would have this whole thing by myself. Yep, I'm a skinny girl, but I can eat a lot. Because in raw food, you have to eat a lot. right? Because it's very calorie not dense. Fruits and vegetables have a lot of water, so you need to eat a lot of them to get your calories and your nutrients, but that's really fun. I love that. I love having huge meals. And then our dressing right here is just lemon juice and garlic, raw garlic. Mix that up in a second. And some salt, and I'm using the salt called Herbamare, which has a lot of herbs in it. It's pretty cool. So then it's less salty. It has other nutrients in it too, and it tastes really, really good. So I have to put a little bit more than I'm used to, but we want that salty flavor. So I'll just mix that one more time. Very flavorful dish. And then, of course, we've got the star. We have two stars actually. This is one of them. The hemp seeds, which are going to be, like I said, instead of the couscous. So it's really, you know, probably about a cup or so in here. Here's our package almost done. And we mix that. And I really like hemp seeds when they're not blended a lot of times. I know that a lot of people use them for smoothies and for dressings because they make kind of creamy, like Caesar-like dressings. But I really like to see them because they're so pretty, just to see them in my salad. So just mix that in. Actually, I'm going to put a little bit more just so we see more of them. Finish this. Why not? And greens also have tons of protein. So we get protein from the hemp seeds and from the greens. Awesome. And then, just to make it lovely, I actually just picked these myself. This is pomegranate, so I think I have like 1.5 in here. Put some in. It's so beautiful. I was saying this morning to my mom that I literally, like, I can feel my blood getting strong and my hemoglobin levels rise when I look at this pomegranate because it's so beautiful and red, delicious. Yeah, and it's a very nice, I think, Christmas holiday salad, right? Or any holiday that you celebrate. So very beautiful. Those are the two recipes. Try them out, and I hope you enjoy.